how to practice melee fighting on 5 people, or skirmish fighting, or war fighting, how to train that battle eye, how to get better, how to improve. How do you do that? How do you do that on only 5 people? That was the key question. We talked about it. We set up a small bridge. The bridge has the advantage of when you step out, you're dead. Or when you're dead, you step out. So you don't need to lay on the ground. We usually fight until only one fighter is left on each side, but not always. We want to practice several fighters on several fighters. So when the melee or war fighting goes over to one-on-one, we usually stop. The position of the fighters is fixed relative to the guys on the side. So the big red shield always have the red-dressed polearm guy on the right, and the other shield with the white baggy pants on his left. But after each fight, we jump one position on the bridge. That gives, so you get new situations in all the fights. So if you're more on one side and lesser on one side, and the numbers, you practice that. But since the position is fixed, you also rotate who is the commander. And the commander has one position. We sometimes play it on the right side or left side, on each side of the bridge. That also trains you to be in command, to lead, to practice that important skill. What is happening? How can I change that situation I am in? What can I do? What can I do with my own skill? What can I get the other people to do? It also teaches you to listen to the commander. This gives a lot of fights in a small time period. So we usually do 5. If it's 5 fighters, we do 5 fights, and then we talk. It's very important not to talk between each fight, because then you only talk. You want to fight. So when the fighting has run for a bit, you get the hang of it. The important thing is that this is practice. You can do crazy stuff, you can do stupid stuff, you can try stuff, and you can do whatever you want to. Since it's so many times you can do it, it's not important if it's the most optimal thing, the most optimal tactic. If you want to charge, if you want to only do headshots, if you only want to throw wraps or scorpions, fine. If you want the polearm to be defensive, you can practice that. If you want the shield guys to push more, you can do that. The important thing is that this is practice. So when we have done 5 fights, we ask the questions. Ask the questions. 2 important questions, and it's important to ask them in this order, because you always remember the good things. No, you don't actually. You remember the last things you hear. So we start with the first question is, what can be improved as a collective? What can we do more? What can be better? What can we do as a group? It's not important if Super Duke whatever can do some fancy move that all the others can't do. We want solid things like communications. We need to talk more. We need to wait for the command. We need to act on the command. We need to, when we charge, we need to charge as a unit, not as individual. We need to tell the other guys what we do. That would be, or you need to be more aggressive. You need to save some energy. You need to put some more on defense. Whatever you need to improve, it's the first question you answer. And how we do that is that the youngest fighting years starts, and the idea with the youngest in fighting years to start is that it's the easiest to start with what needs to be improved, and the more the answer will be answered by the group, it will be harder and harder to add something. Hence, we let the most experienced fighter answer the last. And that's the first question. What can be improved as a collective, as a group? What do we want to improve? And the second question, this is practice, and we want everyone to go away from the practice with a happy smile. This is an awesome feeling. I want to do this again. This was really cool. So the second question is, what was good? What did we do well? What was cool? What was really, really, really good? Oh, you did so and so, or it was awesome that you could keep those two shield guys busy when I only had one guy towards me. Stuff like that. Oh, it's excellent when you're talking with a really clear voice when you give command. It's really good that you do so and so. That's the second question. And we do this in this case, after 5 fights. So 5 fights. If it's not important enough to remember it after 5 fights, you really don't need to talk about it before that. If it's important enough, you will remember it. So, what can be said more? It's really important to remember the basics. What works, what doesn't work. Filming is also good. Yes, someone needs to run the exercise. That doesn't mean that you run it as a commander. You just run the exercise. Someone needs to say, fighters ready. And then the other side respond, and then you say Leon. And if someone gets tired or broken armor or something needs to be fixed, you just step out of the exercise for a while. So what if the sides are not fair? When you get into a skirmish situation, it's not always fair, and you practice that. This setting gives a lot of fights in a small amount of time, and you know that split vision you want to have in the melee situation. Read the situation, what can be done, what can I do, what needs to be improved here. That can be practiced.